Good morning. Thank you for joining us live here on India Today's social media handles. I'm Akshita Nandagopal this Monday morning, back after a brief break to get you a roundup of all the top stories that we're tracking. And what's dominated headlines over the last few days has been the Gyanvapi Mosque controversy. That's something that plays on today as well, because essentially what you're seeing is the last day of the survey happening today. The survey has just been completed, in fact, by the 36-member team who made their way inside early this morning. There were, in fact, small parts of the mosque that were yet to be completely surveyed. It's now been completed. Tomorrow is when they will, in fact, be submitting the details and their report to the court. And it'll be interesting to see how this really plays out. For all those of you who don't know, this entire controversy is about whether it's a mosque or a temple. I beg your pardon, I've got a bad throat, but I'm going to take you through all the details of the Gyanvapi controversy as well. Can I also request my producers to give me a bit of water as well from there? But before that, as far as this entire issue is concerned, today the last leg of the survey, thank you, is happening as we speak. So in the last leg of the survey, there were in fact a few parts of the mosque that are to be surveyed, which has been done now. And what we mean by a survey is that essentially the entire area is being videographed. And this is being treated as evidence. It's going to be submitted tomorrow in court, and then we'll get details of exactly what the court has to say. The petition essentially in this case is saying that the Gyanvapi Mosque, which is actually adjacent to the Kashi Vishwanath temple, it was in fact part of the temple and it was destroyed by Aurangzeb. And this particular videography, this survey is being done essentially to give us details and give us clarity on whether there was a temple before, whether petitioners, there are some women who are saying give us permission to perform prayers, to perform arti in the mosque, whether that can happen or not. And what will that be based on? It will be based on what kind of evidence has really been pulled out by this team, which is mostly largely in fact officials of in fact the ASI, which is the Archaeological Survey of India. So that's a story that we're tracking very, very closely this morning. It's something that's also led to a lot of politics, because you have the AIMIM chief, Asaduddin Owaisi, saying that we won't allow another Babri to happen, essentially saying that they're not going to allow another demolition of a mosque. The BJP is hit back, saying we're not going to allow, any invaders to change the course of our religion or change the course of our tradition and our culture. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out in the court. Hopefully it puts an end to all of this controversy and this communal politics that we've been seeing over this issue as well. This remains our top story today, and you'll largely see a lot of discussion and debate over this playing out on social media as well. Let us know what you think about this entire controversy. And again, let me highlight here that hopefully tomorrow we'll see a full stop to all of the back and forth and the politicking that we've been seeing on this issue. Let's move on now to the other story I want to tell you about. I know something that's scared a lot of us. I've just come back to Delhi from a vacation, and what I landed to yesterday was 49 degrees. It's a huge, this heat wave has been going on persistent for the last many days in Delhi. Today as well, what we're seeing is right now the temperatures have slightly dipped. It's still terrible outside, but yesterday parts of Delhi actually saw temperatures reaching 49 degrees Celsius. That's one of the worst summers that we've seen in the national capital. Today it's not going to hit anywhere near 49 degrees, but it's going to be, according to the Met Department, somewhere near 42, 43 degrees. So no respite really from the heat. It's actually a bit cloudy, it's stuffy today. But let's hope that the heat wave kind of resides. As far as the Met Department is concerned, they're saying that later this week, in the next few days, we could see a similar situation again playing out. You could see the heat wave again going up with temperatures rising to 45 degrees and plus. So on one hand, you have the heat wave in Delhi. On the other, in Kerala, there's a heavy rain alert. A red alert has been issued for many districts in southern Kerala. In fact, over the weekend as well, here on India Today, we've been getting you reports about what the situation is. There's been heavy rain, torrential downpour in several parts of South Kerala. Today as well, that continues, which is why the Met Department has issued that alert. We're talking about districts like Ernakulam, like Idukki, where you have this red alert that's been issued. There's also an orange alert in all about 5 districts that are on high alert right now. Let's hope and pray that the system passes without any damage being really caused in parts of Kerala. But it's the inner parts of Tamil Nadu, coastal Karnataka, which will also see heavy rainfall. The Kerala government has maintained that we're fully prepared for any eventuality. All precautionary steps have been taken. There's a control room that's been set up, helpline numbers that have been set up. The NDRF is also on standby to deal with this particular situation. So the IMD has also issued a red alert so far for several districts. So right now in Kerala, we're going to be getting you the latest updates and hoping that things don't go bad in the state, which is gearing up for seeing, of course, the monsoons, which hit it usually in a month or so from now. So this is the first big system of the year. Excuse me. The last story that I want to talk about before I wrap up this broadcast and give my voice a breather is what played out yesterday, and the story that got all of us smiling is our badminton heroes, Indian badminton heroes, scripting history by lifting the Thomas Cup. And it was sensational. It got all of us thrilled, to say the least. This was historic. A 3-0 win over Indonesia. Have no doubt in your minds, this is as big as it gets, because Indonesia were essentially champions as far as the Thomas Cup is concerned. They were powerhouses. And we managed this historic triumph that everyone's comparing to, as a turning point for badminton in India, as this championship really changing the narrative around badminton in the country. Essentially, this was done thanks to Lakshya Sen, thanks to Kidambi Srikanth, and of course the doubles partners Ranki Reddy and Chirag Shetty. All of them delivered, ensured that they really aced it when it mattered the most. And that's what led to them defeating and stunning Indonesia, 14-time champions. We're not taking our focus away from the story, because this is as big, as historic as it gets. Very often we're accused of not celebrating other sports as much as we celebrate cricket. That's not the case for us here on India Today. So all the biggest exclusive voices, we're getting you as to what everyone has to say about that stupendous victory. So stay with us here on India Today. That's it from me. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great day. Same